A cold morning settles over Seattle-Tacoma International Airport in March 1995. A low sun glints off the silver fuselage of a Cascade Airlines Boeing 757, tail number N947CA. On the apron, ground crews de-ice the wings, their orange vests bright against the mist. Inside the terminal, travelers shuffle forward, clutching paper boarding passes, coffee steaming in plastic cups. The flight is Cascade 219, bound for Denver with 122 passengers and 6 crew. Its captain, Richard "Rick" Lambert, is a 20-year veteran, calm, analytical, with thousands of hours on 727s and 757s. Beside him, First Officer Elena Cruz radiates sharp focus. She joined Cascade only 3 years ago, but has already earned a reputation for steady hands. The voiceover explains that nothing about this departure hinted at disaster. Weather was seasonal, overcast ceilings, light rain. Air traffic moved briskly. Families planned ski trips. Business travelers reviewed printed slide decks. A pair of college friends joked about spring break. Yet, within 2 hours, the aircraft would fight for its life above the snowy Bitterroot Mountains. A fire deep inside the right engine, hidden from sight, would set off a chain of failures, robbing the crew of nearly all hydraulic control. The decisions made in those tense minutes would shape survival, investigation, and aviation safety for decades.
Cascade 219 pushed back at 8:15 a.m., its Rolls-Royce RB211 engine spooling with a throaty hum. Cabin crew demonstrated safety cards, their voices competing with the rattle of overhead bins. Passengers buckled lap belts, unaware of the drama scripted ahead. Lambert guided the jet along taxiway Bravo. Pre-takeoff checklist complete, Cruz confirmed. ATC cleared them for departure from runway 16L. Acceleration pressed bodies into seats. The 757 lifted cleanly into the gray. Climbing through 12,000 feet, Cruz reported icing on the windshield corners, typical for March, and switched on anti-ice. The cabin settled, parents reading to toddlers, a flight attendant brewing coffee at the forward galley. At Cruz, 33,000 feet, sunlight poured through broken clouds. Lambert chatted about weekend plans while scanning gauges. Fuel flow, oil pressure, engine temps, all nominal. To anyone on board, Flight 219 was just another hop across the Rockies.
An hour into flight, subtle tremors rippled through the right side floor. Lambert frowned, easing a hand to the engine instruments. A slight rise in vibration on number 2 engine. Temperatures held steady, so they logged the anomaly and continued. Minutes later, a faint smell, like hot metal, wafted through the cockpit vents. Cruz checked circuit breakers. Nothing popped. She requested a nearby ATC sector frequency, just in case. In the cabin, some passengers glanced up, noses wrinkling. Lead attendant Valerie Martin stepped forward, asking if the pilot sensed smoke. Lambert reassured her, but requested she monitor the aft galley. The crew reviewed abnormal procedures, engine fire or severe damage. Nothing yet warranted a shutdown, but tension edged their voices. At 9:42 a.m., a sudden bang shook the fuselage. Warning lights bloomed scarlet. Engine fire right. A siren blared. Cruz declared, "Engine fire, number 2." Lambert reduced thrust, following the memory checklist. Fire handle, pull, rotate. Extinguisher activated. For 30 seconds, alarms continued. Then a second caution illuminated. Hydraulic pressure low, system B. The fire had burned through lines routed behind the pylon, draining fluid vital for controlling flaps, spoilers, and landing gear. Hydraulic B's gone, Cruz reported. Lambert weighed options. They were over rugged terrain, no large airport within easy reach. Nearest field, Missoula, 85 miles east. They advised ATC, Mayday Cascade 219, engine fire, loss of hydraulics, request vectors, Missoula. Controllers cleared surrounding traffic, voices tight but calm. Inside the cabin, Martin steadied her crew, instructing passengers to tighten seatbelts. Smoke curled along the aft ceiling. Some coughed, covering mouths with jackets. As the fire warning finally ceased, the pilots realized they'd extinguished flames but lost half their control authority. Only one hydraulic system and manual trim remained. Descending through cloud breaks, Flight 219 confronted an unforgiving landscape, jagged ridges, snow-patched valleys.
Missoula lay just beyond a wall of peaks. Lambert ordered flaps 5. Response was sluggish. "We're heavy on manual," Cruz muttered, muscles taut against the yoke. Altitude unwound faster than distance. They might not clear the last ridge. Lambert scanned for flat ground, a forested plateau about 2 miles long, used once as a fire watch strip. He briefed, "We'll try that meadow. Brace call on my mark." Cabin crew raced through aisles, shouting commands. Passengers folded arms, heads down, the universal brace. The jet skimmed treetops, right wingtip clipping branches. With a final roar, wheels and belly struck frozen soil. Metal screamed, seats jolted. After a grinding slide, silence fell except for crackling brush. Amazingly, the fuselage stayed intact forward of row 20. Lambert and Cruz quickly secured switches, then joined attendants evacuating via forward slides onto snowy turf.
Local residents saw smoke plumes and phoned 911 on rotary lines. Montana search and rescue scrambled helicopters. Volunteer firefighters trekked up logging roads. By noon, first responders reached the clearing, finding survivors huddled in blankets. Television crews, guided by scanners, captured grainy footage. A broken jet in white wilderness, people waving signal cloths. In Denver, Cascade Airlines Operations Center activated a crisis room, phones buzzing. Paramedics triaged injuries, fractures, smoke inhalation, mild hypothermia. Tragically, 23 passengers seated aft perished from impact and post-crash fire, but 105 lived thanks to swift evacuation. Within 24 hours, National Transportation Safety Board investigators arrived, lugging toolboxes and real cameras. They marked debris paths with orange flags, photographed the ruptured engine cowling. Technicians recovered the black boxes, CVR and FDR, from a scorched bay. Back in Washington, engineers replayed cockpit audio, checklists, calm voices, final commands. Data traces showed right engine oil temperature climbing minutes before the bang. Metallurgical analysis of turbine discs revealed a hairline crack near an oil line coupling. Over years, vibration widened the fissure until hot oil sprayed across titanium panels, igniting. The fire then consumed hydraulic lines, disabling System B. NTSB concluded the design's proximity of flammable fluid and hydraulics allowed a single leak to cascade into dual failures. In hearings that summer, officials praised the crew's discipline and cabin crew's rapid evacuation. The board recommended design modifications, relocate hydraulic lines, strengthen fire shielding, revise maintenance intervals for oil fittings. The FAA issued an airworthiness directive within months, requiring inspections on all RB-211-equipped 757s. Airlines adopted enhanced evacuation training, emphasizing remote landings. Families of the lost gathered at a Missoula memorial where polished granite bore all names. Survivors spoke of teamwork, passengers pulling strangers from seats, attendants guiding them through smoke. Aviation magazines framed Flight 219 as proof that lessons arise from tragedy. Every bolt, bracket, and drill refined by experience. Today, few travelers boarding a jet recall the snowy ridge where Cascade Flight 219 came to rest. But in hangars and classrooms, its story endures. Engineers teach how one leak exposed weaknesses in fire-resistant routing. Pilots rehearse hydraulic loss checklists drawn from the crew's bravery. Flight attendants remind trainees that clear, firm commands save lives. The narrator's voice softens. Aviation's safety record is written in lessons paid for dearly. Because Lambert, Cruz, Martin, and many unnamed professionals faced chaos with poise, millions fly each year with greater confidence. As dusk settles over the bitter roots, wind rustles through wildflowers growing along a faint scar in the trees. The last trace of a morning when discipline, courage, and inquiry turned disaster into a legacy of learning.